All right, today I'm going to be changing the AC compressor on my Dodge D150 1988, and I will be showing you guys how to do it on your truck. All right, first things first is we are going to take these caps off, and hopefully you guys have one of these gauges that'll show you if you have pressure inside of your AC system or not. And all right, I got the caps off. The blue goes on the low pressure. If I can. All right. And the red goes on the high pressure. Now, you'll have to open up these and it'll tell you if there's anything in there or not. All right, they're opened up. And in my case, I don't have anything in there because my compressor seal in the front went bad and everything already leaked out. So I don't gotta worry about that. But if you do, go to a garage and usually they can drain all the refrigerant and everything out for you. Okay, now that we know that there's nothing in our system, we can go ahead and take these bolts out right here. These four, to disconnect those lines. All right, now that we got these off and disconnected, I'm gonna take paper towels and jam them in. They got, let's see if I can show you. Those holes, I'm gonna jam them in those holes, and that way nothing gets in the system and it doesn't get dirty. Well, I'm sure you guys saw on that last clip, but looks like we got a bit of a problem in there. Definitely doesn't look like the other one. So that's gonna need replaced. So I guess we're doing that in this video too. All right, the next thing we are gonna do is undo this plug back here for the compressor, and then we are going to undo the tension on this belt, which I will show you in a second. All right, I got the plug off. Mine was being stubborn with me, so I had to use this little screwdriver to peel it off. All right, now we're gonna undo this nut right here, and then we're gonna loosen that up. All right, so I've got it loose where I can do everything by hand now. And once you get it like that, just do everything by hand to get it all the way off, because we are going to be taking this entire bracket off to get this out. So you can take all this off and we are gonna just sit it right back there. All right, now that I got that out, I was able to move that over and take this belt off of that pulley. So once you do that, there's still one more bolt under here, right there, that you're gonna have to take out. And if I remember right, there's gonna be a sleeve. Yeah, this will fall out when you go to take that bolt out. So try to keep your hand on that, and also make sure that your alternator doesn't just fall over. All right, got the alternator off. I said that this piece would fall out, but on mine it didn't. It does move around though, so just be careful for that. All right, so I've just gotten a random piece of cardboard and drawn out basically what that bracket looks like in a smaller version, obviously. And just punched holes where all the bolts are so I can shove them through and make sure that each bolt is getting back to where it should be and they don't all get mixed up. Okay, so I also just remembered that for this compressor, let me show you, there is a bolt in the back of here, that one down there, that you have to get off, and I had to take my air filter off of here to get to that bolt, so you guys might have to do the same. All right, so I just got that bolt out. You will need a long extension to get behind there and get that bolt out, but it's pretty easy to get to. So once you do that, you are ready to take this whole bracket off just remember before you do that, I've already done it, but this belt, make sure it's off of this. It's supposed to have two. I only have one. I'm actually gonna put that second one on after I get my new compressor in. But you are ready to take this off, and when you do, this is what I was thinking about when I told you about the alternator. This and this, they will fall out when you take these bolts out, so just remember that. Try not to lose them. And yeah, I think everything else, there's these two bolts, and there's this one down here, and then these two, and then that's all you should need to get off to get this bracket off. And then there's just three around this compressor on this bracket that you'll have to get off later. All right, so I took all the bolts out. I forgot one. It's down here. It's underneath. Yeah, it's this one. This one also needs to come out to get this bracket off. But I think once you get that one off, that one should actually be the last one. I need to add that to my diagram. Boom, that's perfect. All right, so I got it all out. It is sitting over here in the floor. Look at that. So now all we need to do is take out, whoa, okay, yeah. There's this bolt right there, and then there's these two right there. And that'll take the compressor off of the bracket. And then once you do that, you actually need to get these two bolts out of the back and get this bracket off. We need this bracket for the next compressor. And by the way, for all of you guys doing it, these are 15 millimeter bolts. I thought they would be standard, but they're not. These are 15 millimeters. All right, got those off. Now we just need to get all of these off. There's three of them, one at the top and two at the bottom, and they are 10 millimeter. All right, got those out, and it is off. All right, now we can focus on the new compressor. In my case, it does come with oil already in it. It says 3 ounces of oil. I think that's enough, but I'll double check that. And you definitely need to make sure that yours does come pre-oiled, or you need to buy an oil can and you can oil it yourself. Mine also says that there's some kind of seal in the front of here that you need to flip the compressor over on its face for 1 to 3 minutes to oil up that seal and make sure it doesn't leak. Because if you do that, there is a higher possibility of it leaking out of that seal. Leave it for 1 to 3 minutes and come back to it. Here's that other belt that I got, just in case any of you guys need the numbers. It is a 60.5 inch long belt. Just remember when you are changing this, if you already have this adapter from R12 to R134, you need to remember to take that off so you can put it on your new compressor. You'll probably need a wrench to loosen that up, but I've already done that. All right, now just need to screw that on to our new one. It's already been done sitting upside down for the 1 to 3 minutes, so just get it hand tight and then get your wrench and make sure that it's nice and snug. All right, got it on with the wrench. It's nice and good now. It's not finger tight, it can't get it off, so we are good on that. All right, for that second belt that I'm trying to put on, I realized I'm going to have to take the power steering belt off of its pulley, and this belt is gonna have to go through that because otherwise I can't get it back there where it should be with the other belt. Well, while I was going ahead and trying to get that belt off of the power steering so I could put on that other belt, one of those bolt holes led to the water pump, and it decided to just now start spraying out everywhere. I'll show you which one it is. It's this one. This bolt hole decided to start spraying out everywhere. So yeah, when you get that off, make sure to put that back in so it doesn't happen to you. I'm probably gonna go ahead and put the rest of those bolts back in real quick, just so it doesn't happen again. Not really sure what caused it to just now happen, but yeah. All right, so with this bracket, you can see all the nasty dirt and grime and oil and whatever else is on it. I'm just gonna take a paper towel and some brake clean and wipe it all down, make it nice and look good. All right, got that done real quick and easy. Looks 10 times better. Paper towel, very dirty. All right, now it's time to finally put your compressor on your bracket. Make sure when you do that, that your wire doesn't get pinched in between the bracket and the compressor, and it goes over top of the bracket. All right, boom, got those on there, nice and tight. All right, before I go ahead and put everything back together, for me, I'm gonna go ahead and replace this line right here. It's just right here, and it goes to back there. All right, I just got this side off. There is this little gasket needs to come off too, because my new line comes with that already. All right, now I've already unbolted this back here, but you can see this part is connected to the top of this line, so you're gonna need to unplug that. Come on. All right, got that unplugged. So now everything can come on out, I guess. Don't know why that's like that. Probably just gonna have to undo that real quick and then put it right back around. But once you get that, you can take all this out and we can start going ahead and getting the new one put back. This little plug you're gonna need to take off of this hose. It just screws off, because you're gonna need it for your other hose. All right, so right here on the end of the new hose, just gonna go ahead and screw that on. Now my other one wasn't tight with a wrench, so I'm just gonna go hand tight on this one again. All right, never mind. I had to take the back off. I noticed something. This one does not have any gasket around there, and this one does. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a new gasket real quick, slip it on there, and then I'll put that back on. All right, went ahead and got a little O-ring put on there. All right, got that bolted back up, just into place. I gotta tighten it down still. All right, got that nice and tight up there. So now what we gotta do is get that onto there. All right, boom, got that nice and tight. So now we can go ahead and put the bracket back on. And I almost forgot, gotta put this bracket back on, and the smooth side goes towards the top of the compressor. This side goes down. I thought it was the other way around. All right, well, I got the bracket that goes in the back on, and kind of forgot that I was recording, but I got the 3 bolts down here that are on. So yeah, I already got that done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that bolt in the back of this compressor put on, and yeah, I'll start going ahead and then get these 2 and get the alternator back on, and then I can start working up top here. All right, remember when you're doing these 2, you got this bracket that I've already put on, but you got to do the bracket, and then it goes like that, and then that second bolt goes through this tube. And just remember when you're doing that, these two bolts need to be loose so you can pull this back and it can have some give so you can get that tube in there. All right, got that in there. It's nice and tight. Got that bracket on there too, it's good. Now, just need to get the alternator put back on, and that bolt at the bottom. Remember, when you're doing this bolt down here at the bottom of the alternator, you want it tight but not too tight, because if you get it too tight, this won't be able to move, and you need that to move the tension in your belts. All right, got this all on, all good in the back. Everything is on like that. Got all these bolts on for the bracket. Looking good. Got the belts on. So now the next thing is getting these lines up at the top of the compressor on. Remember when you're doing this, that once you open these, you want to try to get your lines on as soon as possible and not leave the system open for too long. On both of these lines, since they are new, they have spots for O-rings instead of the old metal gaskets. So you gotta get some of these O-rings, just in case any of y'all are doing it and have the new lines. This size right here is the size you'll need for that. Before we put this side on, I got this UV dye and oil, because this system for the D150 needs 7.25 ounces of oil, and it only came with 3. So I'm gonna pour about half of this container in, and we should be good. I'm gonna pour it in here, and then when I pour it in, I'm gonna rotate this. Make sure you're rotating this to pump. You can hear it. It moves things around in there, and it'll pump that oil in, so that way you can get it all in there. So I have filled this up with that dye. I spilled a little bit, but it's fine. But you can see when I turn this, it is bubbling, sucking that dye down. Got everything hooked up here. Everything's nice and tight. Now it's time to plug this thing in. Got it plugged in, so now we need to pull vacuum. All right, now we can come back with our gauge set and hook it up like we had in the beginning of the video. Blue goes to the low side right here. Red goes right here. Now usually this yellow line would go to an electrical vacuum pump, but I got this vacuum pump from Harbor Freight, super cheap. That's the item number. I think it's like 15 bucks. All you do is just hook this yellow line right up to the front here. Then you're gonna hook your air compressor up to the back here. Make sure your air compressor is on 90 PSI. All right, with these closed, you can hook up your air compressor. And when you open these, you'll actually hear it start pulling vacuum. All right, now with this all still running, you're gonna close those screws on both sides. And now that I've closed those screws, I got that disconnected. And you'll watch where your gauge is, and then take a picture of that or something. And then now you just are gonna go away for about an hour. And when you come back, hopefully it's still in the same spot. If it isn't in the same spot, then you got a leak. All right, I'm back. Gauge is still looking good, so that tells us we can go ahead and start adding refrigerant. I have this little top that screws right onto the refrigerant can, and then this screws into the side right there, so I can just keep using this gauge set to add refrigerant. Good and running. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and hook up that refrigerant to that hose. All right, now that we have that on there good, we can screw this down. We're gonna go ahead and turn on max AC. All right, we're gonna back this off a little bit. And this part's important. Make sure you're only opening the low side. Do not open the high side. You'll see the gauge start going up, and just keep rotating this bottle up and down. Well, now we got good ice cold AC in the Dodge. I use this to fill it the rest of the way. Sorry, I forgot to film that. But if this video helped you out, like or comment or something, let me know. Or if you have any questions, comment and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching.